Hi friends, and welcome back to a new video. Today we are doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna walk you through making my Isabelle sweater. It took me about 4 months of knitting, and my fingers are still hurting a little bit from making my little embroidery patch, but I thought I would pop in and show you the result before I hand you over to voiceover Cecile for the rest of the knitting and embroidering footage. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you like my sweater. I am so proud of how it turned out. I think she do be pretty cute, so yeah. Hello friends, it is voiceover Cecile now. I hope you are all doing very well. I hope you're having a cozy beginning to February. I filmed all of the footage for this video on our snow day, which was on Monday, so February 1st I think. And so that's why the lighting is a little gloomy and kind of all over the place. But yeah, so let's talk about this sweater. I came up with the idea to make this sweater, I think back in maybe September, probably around when Isabelle starts wearing her sweater in the actual game. And I found this pattern that's free. It's called Must Have Cardigan by Patterns. I'll have it linked down below, and I thought it looked pretty similar to the Isabelle sweater, to the sweater that Isabelle wears, and so I was like, this is the one, I'm gonna make this one. So I bought a bunch of wool from Knit Picks and started working on it, I think around October or November. I think October. I worked on it pretty regularly through November, took a break in December, worked on it through January, and now it is finished. So yeah, this was my very first sweater that I have, like, it is my very first proper adult sweater that I've made. The only other sweater that I've made is a We Are Knitters kit, which I don't really count because it is so itchy and so warm and completely unwearable. So this is my first proper adult size wearable sweater. And yeah, I'm really proud of how it turned out. I didn't have to look up how to do most of the stitches because I already knew how to do most of the things from knitting socks and things like that. They are very similar processes. This was the first time that I had ever done embroidery because I really wanted to make the little Cosmos embroidery patch that Isabelle has on her sweater, and so I tried my hand at embroidery. Here you can see me sketching out the design, and then I basically just do satin stitch for the petals and the flower center, and then I did a fishbone stitch, I think is what it's called, for the leaves, and then I did a stem stitch for the stem. And it was pretty simple. I think because I have some sewing experience, some hand sewing experience, it wasn't too difficult for me. It was pretty therapeutic, although my fingers did start to hurt after a while because I kind of just did the whole thing in one sitting, and I didn't separate my embroidery floss. I wanted the embroidery to be really chunky, so my fingers did start to hurt after a while. Yeah, I really love how the sweater turned out. I think it's really cozy. It's very warm because I did use 100% wool yarn. I am slowly making the transition to buying yarn that is only natural fiber instead of acrylic yarn because, one, it's better for the environment, and two, it feels a lot nicer than acrylic yarn, just because acrylic is, plastic. So here you can see me outlining the little petals of the flowers for the satin stitch. This is, I don't know if that's the proper way to do a satin stitch, but I found a diagram on Pinterest that said to do it this way, and I do like the result a lot better than without outlining. So yeah, I thought I would talk a little bit about crafting in general, having crafts for yourself. I actually got asked after I finished making this. I posted a picture on Reddit and I got a DM asking if I could make one for someone, which I declined because, for one, it would be quite expensive to make, considering my 15-ish years of knitting experience and the amount of time that it takes to make a sweater like this. Just if you consider that and put it in like an hourly wage thing, it would be ridiculous. But also because I think it's really important to have crafts that you do just for yourself. I spend a lot of my time making things for other people, whether that's for my shop or for like gifts. And one of the things that I've always neglected to do is make things for myself. So I'm trying to change that a little bit. This year and last year, I was starting to make that switch. And so, yeah, I think it's really healthy to have things that you just do for yourself. And it's not really for like showing anyone or for gifting to anyone. It's just something that will make you happy. When I feel really burnt out and tired and like not in the mood to draw or do anything really productive, I like to do a craft like this because it feels like it's a self-care thing, right? So yeah, and I'm really excited to try and do more embroidery in the future because this was actually really fun. Oh, here you can see me kind of messing around trying to figure out how to turn my embroidery into a patch. Basically what I did, I don't know if this is the correct way to do it, but basically what I did was I filled in all the gaps in the middle of the embroidery with black thread and then, or black embroidery floss, and then I fussy cut it out with some sewing scissors, and then I whip stitched around the entire edge. And then once I did that, there was still some little like threads of the canvas that I used poking out, so I went around the entire edge again with a blanket stitch, and that created a nicer edge for the patch. And then I sewed some pin hooks on the back so that it could be like a brooch, because I didn't want to sew it directly onto the sweater because I was like, well, what if I don't like the patch in a couple months or something? So yeah, so now I can wear it two ways, I guess. And this is me dancing and being very excited about my finished sweater. Thank you always for being part of my cozy little space on the internet. Thank you so much for watching. I will have links and resources down below as always, and I will see you next week.